Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we can celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, welcome back to Hermit Haven. I'm Jackie.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so stinking excited to see you this week. We are chit-chatting about showing up imperfectly, the courage to be seen as you are. This is so awesome. I feel like we just literally just had like a whole, chit chat, like a little side chat about this kind of topic, like why it's so important to be who you are because you don't know who's out there needing to hear your message. You don't know who wants to be friends with you because you are who you are. You don't know who you're going to attract because you are who you are. You don't know what joy you can bring into this world because you are who you are. You don't know what you can accomplish if you don't, right? It's so amazing, literally. But it does take so much courage, right? Like, how do you like push through those thoughts? It's like almost like a choo-choo train. You have to get like a Bolt's train though, that goes super fast.
Yeah, I think it's easier when we meet someone new to like feel them out before we start being ourselves. I mean, not everyone feels this way. I'm getting better at it as my confidence in myself is growing. I've been getting a lot better at it, but I definitely have always been the person where I kind of like see, like feel the other person out, but they're probably doing the same thing. So like neither of us is really being our real selves, probably, because we're both doing the same thing, you know? And I know that we get nervous because like when you're vulnerable to someone, not even like what you have to say, but just who you are and the quirky things about yourself and all of that, those things can actually be comfort to someone else. Like there are certain people that I'm around, and because they're like, they probably are like, oh, so weird, like, or whatever, weird traits. I'm like, that actually is so comforting to me because I feel like I'm able to be my real self because you are too. We like so underestimate that, I feel like, in this world. And yeah, it really brings something amazing to the table, and you're able to have just better conversations and all the things because you're trying to be your real self and let your real self show, even though I know it can be scary.
I think too, besides like being your own self, it also like how do you truly show up to those like talents? How do you motivate yourself really to commit to something you want to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, we feel that we need to be so perfect. We can't like just start now, right? So like when we're trying to even like you're saying like I don't know, show up and be authentic with people, right? And be our real self, right? All the time we're just trying to be perfect, right? But why do we
Yeah.
need to be perfect? We don't need to be perfect. I just love this topic. Seriously. Like you're saying, like being yourself is so stinking important, right? Like we don't need to be this version that we saw on the TV. We don't need to be this version that we heard about. We don't need to be this version that we need to be told about. And we talk about this all the time too, right? You need to show up as the version you want to be, right? So if you want to be, you know, whatever it is, and you need to show up as that version. If you want to, attract a certain group of friends, then showing up in a different version, you're not going to attract the right friends, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
being honest too, right? Setting boundaries, right? That's all part of it, right? I think so many times we think it has to be perfect. We have to have the right words. We have to know how to talk to someone. We have to know how to like I don't know, like shake their hand and like be like, all right, we're going to send a 10-page contract because someone did me wrong somewhere in life, right? Or I can't trust you because I can't trust myself, which is, right? There's two different things, right? Or it could be another
Yeah.
thing, whatever it is, right? Just throwing things out there. There could be many examples in this situation, right? Of why you feel that, I can't show up as myself, and I don't know what it is because whatever it is.
Do you feel like sometimes too, I think sometimes we don't even know who we are. And
Mhm.
so it's hard to show up as us because and we talked about this but a couple episodes ago or so, like losing yourself, that feeling of like losing yourself, like not even knowing who you are. I feel like sometimes people don't know how to show up as themselves because they're like, I truly don't even know who I am anymore. And so you might have to go back to like with that episode because we talked about like
Yes.
making a list of like, who do you want to be? Right? You can always reinvent yourself. So who do you want to be? Who's the person that you want to show up as? But I do think sometimes we're not showing up as our authentic self because we're just unsure of like, I don't even know. I don't know who I am. What's
It's
going
so
on?
true though. Like
Yeah.
I think we're not aware of it either,
Yeah.
right? How many times are we not aware? And how many times do you feel like you're just in a situation? Like you feel like you're just like you're so like, okay, there's noise, there's movement, especially with children involved. Like, if I'm trying to watch Ari do one thing, I'm trying to chit chat, like we could have had a 4 hour conversation, but like it's hard to do both sometimes. So like
Yes.
sometimes we don't realize that we're just not aware or we're not giving our fullness, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we're also looking at the other person while we're talking, and we're looking to see, right, if they're judging us while we're talking.
Oh my
Because,
gosh, yes.
right? Yes, we're judging them and what they look like. Sometimes I do this if I'm being totally real, which we always are. Like sometimes I look at Ashley and while I'm talking on the podcast and I'm like, I wonder if she thinks I'm being crazy right now for what I'm saying. She doesn't ever feel that way, I know. But yeah, no, sometimes we are. We're looking at the other person because we can see them. And it's nice to be able to see someone in their face and their expressions and their reactions, but sometimes I think that might hold us back from being our authentic self because we're looking at them like they're judging us. So there was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember.
I feel like sometimes too, when you first meet people, it's almost like you're on an interview with them, and so
Yeah,
you're like kind of doing like if you go to interview, right? A good interviewer will sit there and kind of do exactly what they do. So if they're sitting there like all straight up, like business like, you're gonna sit up straight like business like you're not gonna relax, right? You're gonna
yeah,
feel the need to kind of like do what they're doing, and so sometimes we take our time to like let our guard go.
absolutely.
So good though, Jackie. I think in a relationship, that is a lot of times we think of the first thing when we're thinking about being imperfect, like imperfect and showing up. Because I don't know, it's easier to think about something like, I don't know, when you're doing it with someone than yourself sometimes, because unfortunately, especially as mom and women, we're always doing something for someone else. But I think so many times in our own selves, we forget that if we want it to be the best content creator, sometimes you got to get messy. You just got to post the video. It don't matter if the edit was perfect, right? It don't matter if the clips were perfect. It don't matter if right your full vision was there. Okay, post that one and then try posting another one, right? That one was practice. Make another one, right? We just keep
Yeah,
going, right? That's part of being, that imperfect, just showing up as who you are and having the courage. And I think so many times you have to like kind of like blindfold yourself and close your eyes and just be like, boom, I'm gonna do it. I got this,
yeah.
right? Or you
Just
gotta
go
like,
for it.
what I do sometimes? Like when I really, really, really have to like do something, I'll just like go in the mirror and just talk like be like, Ashley, you got this. Let's go. Let's go.
Hype it up. Have like a hype song.
Okay, so there's this girl I follow. I freaking love her. Freaking love her. If you guys are in Arizona, like, or if you just want to follow her, like, her name's Taylor Marshall. I think also on TikTok. I freaking love her. We worked together in like Richmond, but she posted this video recently, and I swear I've been thinking about it for 3 weeks. I feel like because it was literally, "What is your hype song as a stay-at-home mom?"
Oh, I
And it was
love
her and her
that.
friends doing their walk-in. It was like their walk-in song, like their hype
Yeah,
walk-in song as a stay-at-home
yeah.
mom, and they were doing their like walk-in to their hype song. And I've been thinking about this for like 3 weeks. What the heck would I pick?
I do have a hype song for working out. I know this is really off topic. I have a hype song for working out that like if I really don't when I used to run, I don't run anymore. If I was getting tired, I would like put the song on and all of a sudden I'd be like, "Let's go."
Oh my
It's like a
god.
Katy Perry song. It's called Dark Horse. Anyway,
I feel like that could
no,
be
but
your hype song. But again,
could
like
be.
have the
Oh, that's
courage to
actually a
have a
good
hype
one. I just thought
song.
about that.
Okay,
Dark
imagine if
Horse.
we all walked around and like walked into every room with our hype song playing. Like it was like a thing, you had to do it. How crazy would that be? Like, but I think sometimes too, like that's right. It goes back to like
Yeah.
sometimes it's easier to support other people. So like if everyone was doing it, you would have the courage, right? We were just talking about this like so I host mom walks and we were talking about like right, sometimes it's hard for moms to come to these things because they might not
Yeah.
have the courage yet to
Yeah.
want to show up, right? They might not be in the season where they feel like they're ready to show up and like meet new people, which is totally understandable. I was there,
Yeah.
right? Jackie was there. Like we've all been there. Let's be real. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to stay in your house, or sometimes you
Mhm.
want to go on your own adventure and go do your own thing. Like we've all been in different seasons, right? That's what's like so fun, right? But it takes courage to go to new places. Even before I was a mom, like I remember as like a kid, like I'd be like, I was an only child. I had to be like, I didn't have a sibling or someone I could like bring with me. Like I had to figure it out by myself. I had to like go make new friends if I want to like go do all these things. Like
Yeah. I'm
you have to
always
have courage.
nervous for any meetup. Unless it's someone that I really know really well,
Mhm.
I'm literally nervous. Even like family gatherings, I get nervous more. Not in like a bad way. Like I don't know. I think it's just like preparing to be around a bunch of people. But I love the idea of the hype song because I am a chronic overthinker, and when I'm talking to someone after the conversation, I'm like thinking about, oh my gosh, should I have said that? Should I have said that? Was that wrong? Like I think about that all the time. And I need to just be like, Jackie, go play your hype song. Stop thinking about it. And then like change my direction. That'd be such a good idea, don't you
So
think?
I agree. I think like so I think we can like add can I add to this? Because I feel like this
Yeah.
is very jackiness. So something like I realize when I'm overthinking about it, that means I need to journal. That means more than ever,
Yeah. Oh, I do that too.
right? So I was gonna say, I feel like you just like have to as you're opening up your journal, put on your hype song and be like, I'm gonna write it out.
Are you ready for it? It's a good song, Dark Horse. Hmm. Yeah, no,
It's
no, I
I
have a
think it
really
oh
big issue with wanting to be perfect about a lot of things in my life. I was just talking to someone about this morning, and I just think this is such a great topic because we like overthink everything, and we're always like, oh my gosh, I have to be this type of way or that type of way around this person, and we need to stop doing that. Can we just collectively stop doing that? Because even if you're different from someone, even if you I tend to attract a lot of extroverts or a lot of people that are way more outgoing, like not even outgoing, but like louder, I guess, than me, right? I tend to attract people that are like that because I'm so quiet. You tend to attract like the opposite of what you are. And so I'm always like, oh my gosh, should I be more like that? Should I be more loud? Should I be more show my excitement like in a bigger way? I'm always thinking about this. And the answer is like, you're doing what you should be doing. And yeah, growth is a great thing. So sure, I could practice that a little bit if that's something I really want to do. But I'm perfect the way that I'm created, right? I'm perfect now. And yes, growth is amazing, but I'm perfect now. I shouldn't need to change who I am. And I should show that because
I mean
to that loud person, my quietness could be very comforting,
I think
you
too,
know?
your light is so special. Why would you change your light to be someone else's light? Because you'll never be someone else's light. You're just gonna try to dim their light when they're trying to do their thing. Like, right? Go be your thing. Like you are your own light. Like I think so many times, like we're so worried. And I think even again, I want to talk more about ourselves too, right? Like it's not just showing up like in a relationship, it's not just showing up for like other people, right? Like we are the light in our own situation. We are the light in ourselves. And so when we are taking this time not to be scared, right? And not to be nervous and not to be worried and not to be anxious, right? And I think these are normal feelings that you're going to go through in the process, but eventually you're going to get to the point where you can either just run away like a chicken and go the
Yeah.
opposite way, or you can have courage and you can be brave and you
Yeah.
can go do the things that you need to do. And sometimes it might, unfortunately, we're going through mental things or we're going through schedule things, we're going through seasonal things, or our kids need us. And sometimes some seasons you're not running to the thing quick enough, and it's okay, right? But it's okay if it takes 2 weeks to get to the courage. It's okay if it takes you a month to get to courage, right? But I think when we take time to really understand again, we talk about this a lot, but being intentional with your time, being intentional with your thoughts, being intentional with what you're saying, being intentional with what's coming out of your mouth, being
Yeah.
intentional with what you're doing is so important because you're literally so important to this world. You're in this world for a reason. And if you're not acting and doing the things you should be doing, then right, and that means being you, right? That's the only thing you should be doing. Like I always say like to my son, like I'm gonna go do the dishes because that's what I need to do as a mom right now. Your job right now is to go play because that's what you need to do, and you go do you, right? You go be you, right? I'm gonna do things I need to do, you go do things you need to do, right? And it's having the courage to like be like, okay, these are things I need to do because these are things that I need to keep chugging along, even if I don't want to. Like I don't want to go do the dishes, I don't want to leave my son, but he's gonna go do him, he's gonna learn how to be him, and I'm gonna go do the things I need to do so I can get back to him, right? And it's finding how to use this time, right? That's another thing we talk about a lot too, right? Sometimes time is not perfect, right? Time is not on your side, right? It's figuring out through time how to be perfect in those little pockets of time. And perfect looks different. So if you say, I have to be like this, I have to do this, or my goal was so high that I can't match it, so I'm not perfect enough. That's just not okay either. Like, why are we talking down on ourselves? We are our biggest cheerleader. Like we were saying just now, like our hype song, we are our biggest cheerleader. And so showing up and being scared is okay. Like seeing my son every day working. Okay, so I love my baby to death. And like he's just like he's just figuring out how to learn, walk, crawl, do all these things, right? And I'm watching him and I'm like, just like amazed, right? Like how his body has this like motivation as adults we don't have, right? Like if we couldn't figure out how to do the super move that we're trying to figure out, we probably would just give up. Like, right? Like my son is literally trying to figure it out. Like babies don't have this like giving up. They just have courage. They're just pushing. They're just pushing. They want to figure out how to walk. They want to figure out how to stand. They want to get to mommy. They want to get to the fridge. They want to get to these things. Like there is no like I'm going to give up. And I think as adults, we give up so easily because we know it's available. It's easy to step away. It's easy to do 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 do. What's happening?
Yeah, needs to be checked out.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
sad. It's unfortunate, right? And that's part of it, right? And then we're checked out and we're afraid now to show back up, right? Because we're not perfect. We're not ourselves, right? And we're not ourselves. Like we're just we don't know, but we don't it's okay not to know who you are. It's okay not to know who us as ourselves is, right? Because
yeah,
who I was last season is not who I am this season, trust me, right? And who I am in motherhood is not who I was when I started motherhood, right?
yeah,
And who I am as like an actual person, as a physical person, right, is not who I was 8, 10 years ago. And some of the things we talk about, I was that person that didn't show up because I felt like I had to be perfect, or I couldn't be friends with someone because I had to create the right text message, or I had to like set the right plan, or I couldn't go on like this date because they didn't, whatever it is, right?
yeah,
So many times, right? And so I'm not coming from a place where I'm trying to talk down on you or I'm trying to say, like, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, we were all there. That is what this is about. Like, we're saying, like, we were all there. We were at one point we were trying to be perfect, right? Is there not a point like we were trying to be perfect and we didn't realize it, or we did realize it, or whatever the situation is? And so having courage to truly show up and to change maybe a friendship, change your life, change, I don't know, how you deal with your schedule, how you deal with your anxiety, deal with your whatever it
yeah,
is, right? You deal with your eating habits, right? That's it's a cycle. It's all part of it. And these are things like I feel like Jackie said go back on this episode. I feel like you need to go back on some of our like our routine episodes and our schedule episodes because that's part of it, right? If you are having trouble building that courage, then you need to build pockets in the day where you have the ability and the flexibility to build courage.
yeah. It's reminding me of an I love listening to Ed Milet. I haven't listened to him in so long, and he talks a lot about how his dad was an alcoholic, and then he was in AA, and he helped all these people before he passed. And he was saying that a lot of the times your mess is your message, right? So like the things that are imperfect about you, the things that you're working through that you sometimes are feel judged by or embarrassed by, those are the things that you can really help other people with because you've been through it. And as long as you're working through it, and growing and whatever, then those are things that you can positively influence other people by. And who knows, like I have been trying to tap into like little Jackie lately with my little charms on my bag and just I don't know, like random little like stickers and scrapbooking and just doing all the little things that I used to love doing. And so, who knows, like maybe someone will see that on social media and be like, "Oh my gosh, I used to love to do that. Maybe I'll try that again. Maybe that could be a therapy for me or something that makes me feel better too." And so you just never know who you are going to positively influence and yeah,
Yeah, I
love it.
agree. I want to say something else I was saying to Jackie on the sidelines is I think something too when we're talking about this topic is what happens when you keep trying to show up as perfect. You create a negative cycle because when you're showing up as perfect, then you're acting imperfect behind the scenes. And that means you're acting out, you're leashing out on the people that like you trust, care, and love because you feel that you can't be your authentic self outside
Yeah.
of any place else and it becomes an unhealthy cycle. And so we don't want this unhealthy cycle. When you're being yourself, when you're being authentic, again, you are becoming a magnet. You're creating and you are bringing in and you're attracting what is yours and what should be yours. And I think that is so amazing when people just put their head down and they grind and they just show up. Like, I think something that really intrigues me is watching performers at Disney. So, a lot of people that are characters or whatever, are friends with Mickey and all these other things at Disney, their journey to get to where they are, oh my gosh, the grind, the work, the hard work they put into it, the places they go, the things they do to be where they are, right? They're not watching and they're not looking at what people are doing. They're just showing up and they went to one practice and they were imperfect. They weren't good enough, right? They didn't make it. So now they flew all the way to Chicago and took another one. I knew a girl that joined Disney Cruise Line just to work at the parks. And
Yeah.
she was just, like she did what she had
Yeah.
to do, right? Like there's if you are so wanting something, that means that you have to just put your head down and have the courage to do it. I mean, even for myself, right? We're talking about these other people, but like even for myself to go to Israel, that was took some courage, right?
Yeah.
I remember I wasn't even going to go on birthright. I was so afraid. So the first time I went to Israel, I did birthright or taglit or whatever you want to call it. It's like a 10-day free program for Jewish people. And I went on this thing and I wasn't even gonna go. And the only reason I chose like went is because my friend was gonna go and I ended up not going with her, whatever. Anywho, I then ended up a year deciding after this 10-day trip, I was gonna move to Israel on a program. I was gonna go by myself and meet these random people and live in Israel and live with random strangers. Let me tell you, that took so much courage, but I would not be who I am, and I would not have the stories, and I would not like feel that I am, where I'm supposed to be without showing up for myself and having that courage. And I'm so thankful that I just did it. And sometimes like I have this friend that I always think about. I talk about her a lot in these type of like situations when we're talking about this podcast, but she always would say that when she has to do something that was scary or she had to be like super brave, she always would just like put on her silly face. She would just go "Ah," and just go do it. Like that's what she always said. And I always remember her in these like situations. Like I just put my silly face, like besides your hype song, like I was just put my silly face. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say that thing that was on my mind, like what's the worst thing that happened? I'm just being silly,
Yeah.
right? Like sometimes you just gotta gaslight yourself. I know that sounds terrible, but like sometimes that's like what is courage, right? Like sometimes it's just
Yeah.
pushing yourself past your limits, pushing yourself to like think that thing or do that thing that you were like, I'm not going to do.
Yeah. I think it's also so freeing and peaceful when you finally figure out who you want to be and you're acting as that person in the world. It's so freeing. And I've been really working on that personally. And then when I go out places, I can feel it. I can feel a difference of like, oh my gosh, I used to be so anxious or nervous or whatever. And now I go out and even though I still have a little bit of anxiety, but I just feel so much more confident. And I'm like, I know who I am and I've been working on my identities this year and like who I want to be. And so like I go out and I'm like, I know who I am. I know my heart. And therefore when I'm interacting with people or I'm wandering around the world, I just can be myself and know that I'm making decisions that are best for me, even if other people, are making different decisions because everyone's got something different that they need to choose. So I just think that's such like a freeing, peaceful
Yeah.
feeling.
You are not spending time and energy trying to like be something you're not. Like you're not spending
Yeah.
time and energy trying to like something, understand something like you're not. Like you are just spending time and energy loving yourself and pouring into yourself and that is
Um,
completely freeing. And I don't know, it's just uplifting altogether. And I think when you have courage to just be imperfect, you are truly are being yourself. And I think this is just so deep. And I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now, I feel like, right? This is just one of those things
yeah.
where no matter where you are in life, no matter what season, right? Think about who you want to be in a sense, right? Take the time to take care of yourself, take care of your emotions. Think of yourself as a garden or, as a gallery, right? Think of yourself as something that needs to be taken care of, amusement park, like whatever you want to think of. Think of this as like Inside Out, right? And you have all these different islands and amusement parks and all these different things, right? You need to take care of these different buckets. You need to take care of these
Yeah.
different things, right? And when you're taking care and you're pouring into these different things, you're not worried about the end result. You're not worried about, in the sense like, yeah, you want end results, you want to win, right? Obviously, but you're going to keep on the road because you're just trying to be you, right? Like
Yeah.
you're never giving up because you're just you,
Yeah.
right? Like when you want, like, if you truly want the people that are giving up, right? Like all the time, like, I know I'm not the best content creator. Let's be honest. Like, I'm not consistent, right? And that's just a skill I need to work on, right? And I know that, right? And that's me like, I'm admitting that I'm not perfect. I'm admitting that this is what I'm not good at, right? But I'm
Yeah.
still trying to show up when I can show up. And that is perfect for me.
Love it.
Well, we
Such
love
a great topic. It's an ongoing topic too. Like you're always going to grow and continue to change because that's what we're supposed to do. So you're always going to be finding yourself in that way, but just showing up as the best you that you can is always going to be s- just the best feeling ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think if we can like honestly just like leave you with a little like thing, show up as who you are today, even if it's hard. Because you know, at the end of the day, we're here, your friends are there, everyone's gonna support you, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
We love you all. We'll see you next Wednesday. We'll see you
Yeah.
every Wednesday. And we'll see you on all our social medias. And we love connecting with y'all. So if you enjoy this episode, like this episode, tag a friend, send this to a friend. If you want to sign up for our newsletter to know about this every week, just go to any of our social medias, and in there, like where you'll find how to get to any of our other places, there is a little sign up for that. And that will be a newsletter that Jackie does every week. She's amazing. And she sends us like little email every week. I wouldn't say if it's a newsletter, but it's a little email she does every
Little
week.
email. A
Yeah, it's
love
super cute.
note.
Yeah, a little love note from Jackie, from us technically, that she does every
Mhm.
week. She's amazing, you guys. Support her. Go sign up for that. And we love you all. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye. Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.